Welcome to Mental as Anyone.
I didn't know I'd be sitting here in a wig talking about mental health. Because anybody who's tuning in is going, yeah, this bitch got the answer.
I'm your host, JMO, and in this series we explore mental health.
If this is what life's going to be, I don't want to be here.
The battles, the triumphs, and the strategies to deal with mental health in a healthy way.
We are born and we are just told stories upon stories upon stories about how to live our life, and no one knows.
I'm the first to know that's not easy, having battled on my own journey. Now, I'll be speaking with others who are ready to share their own insights and lessons.
You know, you try to bury it, keep busy, and then all of a sudden it just swallows you whole.
This podcast is specifically designed to support you on your own journey. So join me as we learn together that we are mental as anyone.
You're out there, and every night you have to prove that you deserve to be there.
BYD isn't just powering this podcast. For nearly 3 years, it's been redefining the way I drive. It brings me peace of mind. I just charge it at home, no more detours to the petrol station. And the way it drives, so smooth and has instant power when you need it. It's got all the space, all the tech, and I feel good knowing it's better for the environment too. If you're even a little bit curious, check out the links in the show notes. And thanks BYD for helping bring Mental as Anyone to life. This episode is proudly brought to you by Chemist Warehouse, your go-to destination for all things health and well-being. From essential vitamins and supplements to skincare and fitness products, Chemist Warehouse offers everything you need to stay balanced and healthy. Plus, they're committed to supporting your health journey with affordable, high-quality products. Visit chemistwarehouse.com.au to explore their extensive range and take your next step in your well-being. If you know country music in Australia and indeed internationally, you will know this name. This person has won 6 Golden Guitar Awards, 1 million Mo Awards. I'm not even sure what a Mo Award is. I just think of moustache. She's a female empowerment activist. I like to say you're an empowerment activist, not just female, but you empower me too.
Men have been empowered enough, JMO, I think.
I'm empowered by you, though, and I'm a man. You're a mental health advocate. You're also... this is our 20th anniversary since we first met.
Wow.
This year. So we've been friends, and I consider you actually a dear friend, that even if I don't see you very often at all, but if I know that if I needed you, you know what, there's people that if you need someone, you're there. Melinda Schneider, everyone, is here for Mental as Anyone, and she is an incredible human.
Oh, I love you. Thank you.
You're an artist, a musician, singer-songwriter. You're a creator, a content creator. You're an influencer.
Oh, God, help me. No. Just a creative would be good. That's good.
Now, we've been talking about wanting to have you on here and why. You, in a world where a lot of people still don't talk about their mental health, you have been very vocal about it. You've sung about it. You've written songs about it. You share on various platforms. You've got a website, begentleonyourself.com.au. You are loud and proud.
Yeah, absolutely. It took me a while to get there. It took me about a year in therapy to find the courage to be able to go public with my story, because, across my 40-year career, I felt enormous pressure to be perfect and to put out a positive story, a story of success, a story of beauty, and that was something that came from my childhood, having a showbiz childhood with my mum, Mary Schneider, and being on stage from the age of 3 and first recording at the age of 8. There was huge pressure to be, a happy, pretty little thing. And I was for many, many years. I did a wonderful impersonation of perfect.
And I went in talking to you and knowing we've had this conversation, not this specifically, we've spoken about this issue many, many, many times. And that pressure to be perfect was almost a physical, like it was sitting on your shoulders.
Yeah. And look, it still pops up from time to time. I think when you've been raised that way, conditioned to be perfect, it's something that's in your cells, really, and it takes being very conscious to keep reminding yourself that you don't have to be achieving things all the time. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be slim. You don't have to be attractive. You don't have to be anything other than just waking up in the morning and existing. That's all you really have to do. But yeah, I do have to remind myself of that at times when that negative inner voice comes in, hassling me.
So that's what perfect is to you?
Slim, pretty, talented, successful, nice, a good girl, an overachiever, a people pleaser, all of those things. Yeah, that's what it was. And look, it was something that I am grateful for my depression experience for, is it taught me that perfect does not exist and it's okay to not be perfect. It's not even a thing. It doesn't even exist. You know, everyone's idea of perfection is different and you never really get there. So in 2018, when I first had my collapse, it was after a show and I was exhausted. I'd been pushing myself too hard. I was a workaholic. Again, just trying to beat the last bit of success I'd had, and, you know, whatever I did, whichever project I was doing next had to be better than the last. And my body was exhausted, but I never would listen to my body. I was just driven. And it was really my way of being accepted in the world, feeling worthy, you know, in the world. That's why I was a workaholic.
Can I jump back for a second?
Yeah.
We've spoken about what perfect was. What was success then?
Success then was being great at what I did, winning awards, earning gold records, being, you know, at the top of my field, top of my game, all of those things, and having to do it over and over and over again with each album that I released.
And you wanted to win awards because that for you was I've done it again.
That
My
was
album,
the validation.
The validation.
Yeah, yeah. And look, I was also part of a record label back then who wanted us to win awards as well. And,
Well,
there was pressure to do so. And, I wasn't a mum at that point, so all I had to worry about was myself and my songwriting and my recording and putting out albums and being a success. It was a full-time job.
Winning awards helps.
It does.
Selling albums helps. So being gold sales is 35,000, I think it is. I don't know what it is in 2024, 2025.
Very hard to get these days.
Yeah, it's really hard to sell those albums. But country artists are really good at it because they shovel the CDs or shovel the albums in the car. They get out there and they're
very loyal.
Press the flesh,
Country
and the fans are really loyal to you as an artist, and they've been around for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I'm just fascinated by that winning awards. I've seen you at many a Golden Guitar Award ceremony, and I often talk about putting my armor on, and I think of you when I talk about putting my armor on often because I know that you do the same. And going to the Golden Guitar Awards, it's scary and you want to win, but you're putting yourself out there, and it's all of those things.
Yeah, but having that collapse in 2018 allowed me to let go of all of that stuff. You know, it's just not as important to me anymore. It's not everything, put it that way. Yes, it's nice to be acknowledged. It's nice to have success and be acknowledged for your work, but it's not on the top of the list of my priorities now, which is a relief. It's a huge relief, actually.
So when I intro you at the beginning and say 6-time Golden Guitar winner and 700 Mo Award winner, does that make you cringe a bit, or does that make you proud?
No, it makes me proud. I mean, I'm very grateful for my success, and I'm grateful to be able to still do what I love to do. But And look, it does. It's nice on your CV and it's nice as an intro, but it's just, it just means something different to me now, I think.
Where are the awards? Where are your golden
They're
guitars?
in the lounge room, up on a top shelf, not with a toilet roll on them or anything like that. They're at home. You know, it's a lovely thing, but it used to be too important.
You're married to Mark Gable from the Choir Boys.
Yeah,
Absolute fucking legend of a dude, and who doesn't love?
he is hysterical.
He's just a beautiful, beautiful man and very funny and a great musician. Do you put your awards together?
Oh yes, they mate
all just hang
occasionally.
there.
They
They
get
mate
together and
occasionally.
mate. No, not really.
I'm fascinated by the idea. I'm standing away from the mic, but the idea of perfect and success, and I want to come back to that later. Jumping back to you, age 3, recording. Your mum, Mary Schneider, I know her very well as well, and she also lived up to an idea of perfection.
Oh yeah.
But that's what society told her.
Yeah, well, she grew up in the 50s, so yeah, brutal time.
And you then felt that. And what was that like as a kid?
Well, I was just a good.
I've seen photos
I
of
was
you.
a good Catholic girl, you know. It was just expected. It was a given that I was a good girl. I was programmed to be a good girl. Excuse me. From birth. So, and my dad was a policeman for 40 years, a Sydney cop, and that was more pressure to be a good girl. I was a policeman's daughter. I had to be a very upstanding citizen. So, the pressure was really from both of them to be a really good reflection or a perfect reflection on them. You know, it was about them. They wanted me to reflect well on them. If I ever did anything wrong, watch out. I was in big trouble.
The right clothes, clean fingernails, you know, your hair done.
Yep, perfectly. Yes, plaited
All of those things.
within an inch of its life.
Your mum was
yeah.
a yodeler, so was your aunt.
Yeah. So look, that's where it all starts
Perfect singer.
for all of us. It starts in childhood. All of these conditions.
Did you have a choice to become the Melinda Schneider, the performer, the artist?
I felt that if I didn't want to, you know, when my mum first wanted me to record a song that my mum and she had written called I Just Want to Yodel Like You, which was really a very exploitative song to expect your child to record. I was 8. They played it for me in the lounge room. I remember listening to it and internally saying, I don't really want to yodel like Mum. Like, it's a nice song, but I don't really want to do this. But I didn't feel like I could tell them how I felt. They were intimidating women. They were very strong, and they would have been hurt if I had have said no. So I just smiled and said, yeah, okay, I'll record it. And that really changed my life for the worse when I recorded that, because Mum's fans, and that album sold platinum in 6 weeks. It was a massive record in the 80s or 1980. So at Mum's shows, people would come up to me at Mum's shows and say, you can't yodel as well as your mother. You'll never be as good as your mother. And I'd say, I'm 8. Even I knew it was a ridiculous comparison. But that used to really upset me because I didn't want to be like Mum. I wanted to be me. So it was hard. It was hard being the only child of an incredibly talented woman and being in that shadow and being compared. It was quite cruel, really.
And it wasn't just your mum. It was the industry. It was life. It was society. It was all of those things.
It was what people did to kids. They exploit. Look at Shirley Temple. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I think
something
of-
that happened
I'm thinking of Shirley Temple, but
in that era.
and your
Kids
mum.
were seen and not heard. My dad used to say a lot, you know, little children should be seen and not heard, and that was me.
I grew up in that era too. And
Yeah.
your mum wasn't trying to hurt you deliberately. Like that was...
No, she just knew I was pretty and talented and musical, and she wanted to show me off. You know, it was as simple as that. But I'm making very different choices for my little boy who's just turned 12. You know, there's no way I would ever do that to him.
Have you ever had this conversation with your mum?
I have, yeah.
How'd she take it?
She didn't enjoy it. I think she could see my point of view. But, you know, she said I just didn't think about it. I just didn't think it was going to be damaging. And I get that. She didn't think.
And you love her?
Of course. Of course I love her. Yeah. But don't always like her at times. And I say that to her as well. I love you, Mum, but I don't always like you. She hates it when I say that.
I'd love my mum to be here, so I'm jealous that she is, even if I think I liked my mum all the time, except for when she pissed me off. Sully, your beautiful son.
Yeah.
Motherhood didn't, I don't know, come easy. I don't know if that's the right terms. I'm sorry if I'm clumsy with my words. But you it's almost the opposite style of parenting with Sully. You're very relaxed, very chill. Like you want him to absolutely be his own person.
Be himself. That's what I want more than anything for him. And I think he is. He questions me regularly and challenges me. And as difficult as that can be sometimes for a parent, I think it's really important that he has his own opinions. You know, Mark said to Sully recently, Sullivan, it's very important to disagree. And Sully said, no, it isn't. So we're teaching him well, you know, that's healthy, I think.
Yeah. And he's respectful though. Like he's a gorgeous young boy.
Oh, he's very respectful. Yeah. But he has his opinions, and I think he's a strong personality, and I think that's a really good thing.
So is he creative?
He is creative. He loves drama. So he's doing drama every Tuesday after school, loves that, and I hope that he continues that in high school. He said to me the other day, this was interesting, because he's not really doing music, and look, he's got two parents
who've done a lot of music
out the front, you know, and it's hard. I know how hard it is. So he's rebelling against music. We've never forced him to even learn an instrument, and that's really important for me. I don't want to make it an expected thing that he learns an instrument. If he wants to, we'll support him. We'll support him in whatever he wants to do. And there's a piano in the lounge room, and there's guitars around all the time. And you know, I check in, say sometimes, hey, would you ever like to learn the drums, or would you ever like to? And he's like, nah, not really. I go, okay, cool. Let me know if you ever want to learn tennis or gymnastics or anything. You can try anything. You know, I just try to do that. And I hope that in high school he finds music just for his own enjoyment, not even to make a career out of it or anything like that, just for the love of music. I hope that he does that, and that having two parents in showbiz isn't too confronting for him, because he's got to find his own path through this, which can be hard. But so far it's drama. And he did say to me the other day, because I was on a country practice when I was 13. That was my acting debut. And he said to me the other day, Mummy, am I better at drama than you? And I said, darling, it's not a competition, number one. But, yeah, I hope you are better than me. I always want you to be better than me at everything. And he said, oh, that'd be hard. So he's putting pressure on himself already. It breaks my heart. And I'm like, darling, don't compare yourself to me or Daddy. You're you. Just focus on what you can do. You're amazing, you know. So, yeah, it's tough.
Do you worry about that you and Mark are both icons in your respective genres, respective fields of music? Do you worry that pressure will weigh on him?
I do worry, yeah, because, you know, the last thing that an aware parent wants to do is damage their child in some way, or for them to go through pain. But, you know, I guess pain is part of life. We all have to go through our own struggles and find our way through. But I hope that I'm able to give him the tools and the support and the guidance to help him navigate those tough things.
And I'm sure as a mum, as in all things, you know, you are very self-aware, so you will make mistakes. You have made mistakes, and that's just life,
Because
right?
nobody's perfect, right, JMO? Nobody's perfect. Yeah.
How is your mum with Sully?
Oh, she adores him.
Yeah.
Her only grandchild. So, yeah, she adores him. Yeah, she loves him.
And doesn't worry about him not being into music and...
Oh, she worries, but, you know, I just don't let her go there. I don't let her go there. I shield him from that a little bit.
Do you?
Yes.
But she would like him to do a bit of music?
Yes, she would. Some things never change.
I'm really excited to share something very special with you. You know, I've always been open about my personal struggles, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. And now I've put it all into my book, Mental as Anyone. It's raw, it's real, and full of the lessons I've learned, alongside some expert wisdom from Dr. Jodie Lowinger to help you navigate your own mental health journey. The book hits shelves in all good bookstores nationally on June 25, but you can pre-order it right now on Amazon. The link is in the show notes. This book means the absolute world to me. I hope it helps you too. Country music. You grew up in Sydney. Your dad was a cop. But you are very much Australian. You know, you're part of the fabric of Australian country music. I see you as part of Australian music, not just country.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you fitted in to country music?
Yeah, I think I did, but I've always been a bit more versatile, an artist, I suppose. And in 2010, I really sort of took a step sideways and wrote my theatre show all about Doris Day, and that was really good for me because I can sing a lot of different genres, and I love versatility and I love challenges. So I think in that sense, I've always been a little bit outside of just being a country artist. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about fitting in or feeling like you fit in an area
My
or a
mum,
community.
my mum's a yodeler. I bloody well fit in, love, you know. But yeah, I just think I get so much pleasure out of singing different styles of music, and I don't like to be pigeonholed. Yeah.
2018, you said that's when you collapsed, breakdown, whatever word
Yeah.
helps you, is the best for you. For me, I refer to myself having a breakdown the first time, and that was back in 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
You didn't get out of bed basically for 6 weeks. Mark said, go to bed, get off, no work. You need to go in there and switch off.
Yeah. Watch Netflix. That's
Go and
what
watch
he said.
TV for a bit. And I think he thought probably for an hour or two, and then 6 weeks later, I remember you ringing me and we spoke, and you're like,
Wow, I don't remember that.
we spoke quite a few times through that period, but you were like, yeah, this is what I'm going through. What was it like lying in bed there? What was in your head, you know?
Oh, it was horrible. Hopelessness, helplessness, shame, completely depressed, you know, just that blanket over you, blanket of depression, unable to function, unable to move. I couldn't pick Sullivan up from school. I was so ashamed. I didn't want anyone to see me.
Ashamed of what?
Ashamed of being defective, I suppose.
Right.
Having this depression. Didn't want any of the other school mums to see me. yeah, it was a really hard time. And I didn't, I lived with Mark. We've been together 16 years. He had depression, since before we met. I lived with a person who lived with depression, and I was always empathetic towards him, and sometimes he'd wake up and say, I've got a touch of the black dog this morning, and I'd say, okay, go and have a nap, or just curl up in the fetal position, whatever you got to do it. I'm always supportive and understanding of him. But when it happens to you, I had that voice in my head which was brutal and beating me up constantly. So there was no way that I was even going to accept that I had depression. I thought it was adrenal fatigue. My GP said, you've got adrenal fatigue, but I think you've also got depression. Would you consider going on medication? And I said, no way. I'm not going. I can fix this myself. I'm not going. And she said, look, Melinda, be strong, but don't be too strong. She said, have you ever thought that you might be too stoic? And I hadn't ever thought about being too stoic. She said, you're allowed to fall down. You're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to not be able to function. And it got me thinking about stoicism and how I could just handle anything and fix everything myself, without any help. So I refused to go on medication in 2018, and then towards the end of that year I started to recover and feel a lot better just from pure rest and taking all the pressure off, putting all of my projects on hold. Then April the following year, the depression came back, and then a couple of weeks later my beautiful friend Glenn Hanna took his life. Felicity Urquhart's husband. He was my old flatmate, and that was absolutely devastating. I
remember speaking to you at that time as well.
Deeply, deeply disturbed and depressed around that time. And it's then when I saw a psychiatrist at that point, and he said, Melinda, you don't have to do this alone. Please go on some medication just for a little while, even if it's 6 months, just to help get you out of this hole. And I finally surrendered. And that was the hardest part for me, surrendering. Because I was stoic and I did believe I could fix everything myself.
And that goes back to all of the things we've already spoken about the need and pressure to be perfect. And if you admit that you're not perfect, then
the shame comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of the stuff you're afraid of comes in.
There is something really beautiful, Melinda, about giving yourself permission, I think.
Oh, God, yeah.
When my mum died, one of the things that helped me get through, I mean, I often talk about the pain still being there a lot, but the doctor, I can't remember if it was a psychiatrist or the GP or counsellor, said, give yourself permission to let out that pain. And whether that
to
be
grieve,
screaming, hitting the wall,
yep,
kicking something, writing, scribbling, whatever that is, give yourself permission to do that.
Yep.
And I do that to this day, and that's almost 15 years. And so I don't know about you, but for me, when I did that, like I said, it's still tough. But that was a hugely helpful, beautiful piece of advice that has helped me in my mental health journey.
Absolutely. I mean, we're not good at grief. We Anglos, we're not good at grief. We're not really. Other cultures are so much better at grieving than we are,
Medication too. I think that there is a lot of shame around taking medication, just from my personal experience. And people say to me often, when are you coming off though? And I've been on for many, many years. So it was interesting to hear you say that you felt like, no, I'm not taking medication, because that was, again, a deficit, a feeling of...
Yeah, felt like a weakness. But when I did go on the meds, in 2 weeks, I felt a whole lot better. They worked very quickly. I've just come off them.
Have you?
Earlier this year, and I'm feeling great. But it was a necessary thing for me to just have that support, for my nervous system to have that support. And I've learned so much since going through this experience. That's why I wanted to start a website. And
gentlonyourself.com.au.
Yes. And the weird thing is I wrote this song, Be Gentle on Yourself, with Dave Faulkner from the Hoodoo Gurus 20 years ago. Probably, of course, at a time that I needed to hear it. I always needed to learn how to be gentle on myself, but I'd never given myself that permission.
Because until 2018, you went through periods where life was tough, but you didn't identify it as depression because you were literally like, I am not stopping. That stick up my back, the rod up my back will not allow me to stop.
Yeah.
And therefore I will
I
not.
went through the things that a lot of people go through. I lost a baby when I was 26, very late in my pregnancy. I went through a horrible marriage and a horrible divorce for 10 years. Lost my dad to cancer. Things that we all go through. And yeah, you're right. I never stopped. I just kept going. I was just in survival mode.
And there were moments there where you were depressed, I'm sure.
Yeah, but
you
I
didn't identify it as. Are you in ongoing counselling now? Do you check in with your therapist?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've been in therapy for 25 years on and off, really. We never stop growing and evolving and learning and healing.
Why did you come off your meds, if you don't mind me asking?
I felt like all of the things that I'd learned about depression, things that kept me healthy, like, eating well, eating nutritious foods, getting enough sleep, 7 to 9 hours sleep a night, not drinking too much alcohol, cutting out caffeine, walking, all of the things that I know keep me healthy, I was incorporating into my life on a regular basis. So I felt like I was supported. I felt like my nervous system was supported. I was, I hadn't had much depression in the last couple of years, like little episodes that you can sometimes get. I hadn't had much of that. So I thought I'll just try it, see if it's possible for me to come off. If not, I could always go back on. But
you have a strategy around that. You're not just like, I'm off.
No, if it hits me again, I might have to go back on. But so far, so good. It's been
for me,
been good.
I'm scared of coming off it in a way. I can be scared of it, but I still have that. There is still that shame of admission of being on medication or not really talking about it, and therefore you have to be off it to be well. For me, well looks like, and this is me talking to my doctors and having regular check-ins, well to me is being on it for my life.
And that is for many people, JMO. 1 in 4 people have depression.
Yeah.
It's so common now. And some people are on medication for the rest of their lives, and that's okay. If you have got a chemical imbalance, it needs to be straightened out. So, yeah, even though you're talking about it, doing this podcast and doing all of the wonderful work, do you still feel that shame?
It's hard to say.
Because talking about it for me took the shame away completely.
I don't feel the shame, but I feel like people put that shame on me.
Or the expectation.
The expectation that I shouldn't be on medication.
Right.
And I don't personally in my
But that's
heart,
their problem, right?
I know it is.
Not yours.
But I don't personally feel shame around it at all.
Okay.
And I wear it, as I say often, as a badge of honour, and I talk about it very openly because I want to destigmatise it for all of these reasons.
Yeah.
But I am aware that societally the expectation is you're well if you're not on medication.
Sure.
And I hope that people, if you're listening to this, will go, right, well, I can be on meds for the rest of my life, or maybe I won't be, or maybe
There's
whatever.
a lot of depressed people who aren't on medication who aren't well.
But talk to your doctor. The advice is, and I'm not a medical expert, talk to your doctor, talk to the professionals. Don't go by what a mate says over coffee.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to tell you something. Your music has been profound to me at times that I've been at my darkest.
Really?
My late mum, who was a warrior woman, a feminist, you know, and you met her, your song, Sometimes It Takes Balls to Be a Woman, you know, Mum had to endure a relationship where a man beat her up. And it was really difficult for me with how do I understand a woman that is a feminist who is also in a relationship with a person
A
that
victim.
is, I hate the word victim, but
A victim of
she
abuse.
was a victim of abuse.
Yeah.
Stronger. Your music has helped me at times where I really struggled. So just want you to know that at the strength that you've put into your music and the voice that you've given to so many people is really incredible.
Oh, thanks, JMO. That means a lot. Thank you.
And I feel like your art does that for people. We're almost out of time, but I just wanted to touch on something you've really discovered in the last few years, which has probably helped you, I'm assuming, through this mental health journey, has been the creation of your physically painting, creating artworks.
It's been a great way for me to let go of perfectionism and just to stay in the moment, creating art and doing my abstracts, self-expression. There's no, as my art teacher says, there's no mistakes in art. And it's been a very freeing thing for me and really liberating. Yeah, beautiful. I love it.
Success today?
Oh, balance, I think. Being there for my little boy and Mark. Working at my own pace, listening to my body, taking on projects that I can handle, not pushing myself too hard, expressing myself in different ways through my art, through my music, helping people with my wellness talks that I've been doing with RAMP, the Rural Adversity Mental Health Program, since 2020. I'm loving that. Just, turning my hand to things that are really important to me and go along with my values. It's success to me looks a lot less like, a lot less golden guitars and gold records and much more the more authentic, deep stuff that hopefully will help people and myself.
The idea for perfect for me is now, so I want to ask you perfect for you, but the idea of perfect for me, perfect's just a word, is the best version I can be of myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really even think about perfect much anymore. Just being the best person I can be.
Always finish up with, on a 0 to 10, 10 being chipper, amazing, 0 being really crap. Where's your mental health right now?
I think it's probably about an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the moment. There's always a few challenges in there in life to deal with. But yeah, I'm in a pretty good place right now and grateful for it.
Melinda Schneider, thank you for joining us on Mental as Anyone and for sharing your thoughts, your tips, your tricks and your life with us.
Thanks, JMO. Love you.
Love you too. This episode is supported by Chemist Warehouse, Australia's leader in health and wellness products. Whether you're looking for natural supplements, fitness essentials, or everyday healthcare, Chemist Warehouse has you covered at unbeatable prices. They're proud to support this podcast and help you take control of your health and well-being. Head to chemistwarehouse.com.au for the best selection of vitamins, wellness products, and more to keep you feeling your best. BYD has taken it to the next level with the all-electric Sea Lion 7, a performance SUV that's as sleek as it is powerful. We're talking quiet luxury, up to 482 kilometres of range, and a 0 to 100 kilometres per hour in just 4.5 seconds. It's smooth, it's fast, and honestly, sustainability has never looked this good. With 4 luxe colours, including the stunning shark grey, this is EV driving elevated. If you're even a little bit curious, check out the links in the show notes. Big thanks to BYD for making this podcast possible. I know firsthand how overwhelming life can get, and I also know how powerful it is when you have the right tools to get you through it. That's why I've written Mental as Anyone, a book filled with real stories, practical strategies, and expert insights to help you manage stress, anxiety, and everything life throws your way. With clinical psychologist Dr. Jodie Lowinger providing her professional insights, it'll be on shelves in all good bookstores nationally on June 25, but you can pre-order it right now on Amazon. The link is in the show notes. If you've ever felt like you're struggling alone, this book is for you. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Mental as Anyone. There's been some heavy insights in there, but also some useful tools for all of us to move forward. If you want to be the first to hear new episodes, be sure to hit follow. And if you find yourself in need of support, links to Lifeline, Beyond Blue, and the Black Dog Institute are in the show notes below. See you later.